Should people who live along rivers be asked to pay for the upkeep on flood protection? Luzerne County would like some of its residents to do that for the Wyoming Valley levee system, and some of those residents aren't happy.
Nobody's interested in the citizens who live in this area. I say justice for all. Let's have the county pay for it.
Luzerne County's budget problems have become a flood protection problem. At a public hearing, residents learned about the latest plan from the Flood Protection Authority, which includes the county commissioners, to charge the owners of about 15,000 floodplain properties an annual fee.
If you were a residential property and your improvements were valued at less than $100,000, your annual fee would be about $42.
If we don't pay it, what's going to happen? Are we going to lose our homes?
The authority, which isn't actually funded by county government, says the only legal way it can raise roughly $1.7 million for levee maintenance each year is to charge those who have been flooded in the past. Luzerne County says it simply doesn't have the money it needs to maintain the levee system, but believes that legally it can only charge those directly protected by the levee system for the maintenance fee. The folks who live in the shadow of the levee say that's just not fair.
The people that are in the flood zone are the ones that are going to be responsible to make sure that the flood authority is financed to make sure that the levee fee is maintained, as well as take care of any catastrophic problems. Now, if the flood authority happens to run out of money and they have to go to the taxpayers to get the money, shouldn't all the taxpayers be responsible to fund that as well?
Some believe that homes and businesses which have been built above the floodplain affect what happens when the river rises.
Now, with all the building, all right, those people are going to get scot-free on this, and they're not going to contribute towards the cost that we have to bear within the floodplain area.
Others point out that there are levees also in the system which protect homes from creeks and streams far from the river.
I'm very curious to understand why the people in the floodplain would be asked to solely shoulder the responsibility of paying for maintenance of the pumping stations when you're looking at Solomon's Creek, which has almost an 18 square mile watershed that dumps into that.
But unless there's a legal challenge, folks who don't have to pay won't.
I feel bad for all those being taxed, but nonetheless, where I live, I get no protection from the levee, and therefore I have no intention of paying it.
But the Flood Protection Authority says someone has to pay, and soon.
It's up to the authority board as to if they want to move forward with this in order to fund this, because as we stand here today, there are no dollars budgeted in the county budget for flood control.
The Flood Protection Authority hasn't said when it will vote on the proposed fee, but it will need money to cover the maintenance for this year. Kathy Baczynski, TimesLeader.com.